साफ साफ कहो ना, इस तरह मेरी आंखों में नहीं देखा जाता।
सच्ची हो ना तुम? कूदो यहां से। जाओ।
Murtasim Khan, the handsome, mustached heartthrob from the drama Tere has managed to do the unthinkable. He made us fall head over heels in love with a feudal lord on our TV screens. Introduced as a patriarchal figure with conservative beliefs and a volatile temper, he defied all expectations by revealing a surprising side to his character right after he gets married. This enigmatic gentleman became a charmer, a hopeless romantic, and a fiercely loyal family man. From his impeccably tailored clothes to his elegant shawls and the way he gazed tenderly at his wife, he had us swooning with adoration. However, just like a fleeting summer romance, our infatuation with him eventually came crashing down. He turns out to be exactly what we initially suspected, a toxic hero. This bewildering turn of events makes us wonder, is it the fault of a confused writing? Or were we simply blindsided by his captivating allure, missing the red flags all along? Frames and Beyond presents Character Spotlight featuring Murtasim Khan from Tere. The character of Murtasim Khan is introduced as a feudal lord and the sole inheritor of his Jagir. This man embodies the persona of a tiger. He enjoys hunting, he's a fearless leader, he has the ability to kill, and is not afraid to fight his formidable enemies. He is shown to rock a quintessential Vadera moustache on his constantly angry face and moves with a distinct tiger-like walk. He is also a sakht londa because he shows his unshakable resolve by rejecting the advances of his cousin Haya, who is obsessed with him, dismissing her completely and calling her Behaya to pursue him like that. But he is also vocal about his dislike for another cousin, Mirab, who is portrayed as a strong activist and an aspiring lawyer, believing that her rebellious nature is unsuitable for a woman. Do we see a pattern here? Well, no need to think too hard, because the story and the character takes a 180-degree turn when he marries the rebellious Mirab, a decision that both of them strongly disapprove of. Suddenly, he falls deeply in love with her, playfully flirts with her, genuinely understands her suffering, gracefully overlooks her mistakes, advocates for her rights, and to top it all off, he wholeheartedly respects her decision to refrain from physical intimacy. This ideal portrayal of a man captivates the female audience, leaving them yearning for a partner like him. He becomes the most desired and sought-after husband. However, amidst this charming demeanor and a confident persona, we fail to acknowledge the problematic traits he has always possessed. He lacks trust in his wife and does not let her go anywhere unaccompanied. He ignores the advances of his obsessive cousin despite knowing his wife's aversion to them and repeatedly warns her not to provoke his anger.
लेकिन मुझसे डरो, क्योंकि अगर मेरे अंदर का जानवर जाग गया तो तुम कुछ संभाल नहीं पाओगे मेरा।
Eventually, when pushed to his limits, he says,
मेरी क्या औकात है और उस अक्लमंद की क्या हैसियत है, तुम्हें अभी बताता हूँ।
As intelligent viewers, we will interpret the scene as implied, indicating that the supposedly honorable gentleman engages in the despicable act of marital rape against his own wife. This shocking revelation leaves the audience feeling betrayed. We ask ourselves, is he the same guy? When in fact, these problematic traits were present in him throughout the story, but either inconsistent writing or manipulative storytelling led us to believe he was our knight in shining armor. What adds to the intrigue is that when faced with a rightful audience outrage over exploiting such a sensitive topic as clickbait to boost viewership for the drama, the creators attempt to salvage their grave error by once again manipulating the narrative. Just like skilled surgeons racing against time to resuscitate a fading heartbeat, the makers frantically rush to the editing table, fighting to revive the fading pulse of Murtasim Khan's character. It was a true case of cinematic CPR, where every cut and splice was an urgent attempt to revive the storyline.
Cut it, yaar, cut it. क्या कर रहे हैं आप?
In this process, they not only undermined the credibility of the female lead, but also portrayed her as a complete fool. This raises an important question about how these troublesome male characters are crafted and portrayed on screen in a way that diverts the audience's attention from their red flags, leading them to instead empathize with and form an attachment to these characters. Let's take a closer look at some commonly employed plot devices that contribute to shaping our perception of charming but toxic male characters. Character design. The physical attractiveness of such characters is frequently leveraged to their advantage. Oftentimes, a well-known and appealing actor is cast as the hero or lead, and their existing popularity tends to transfer to the character they portray. As a result, these characters enjoy certain privileges, such as being granted the benefit of the doubt or receiving more leniency for their negative behavior, solely based on their physical appeal. This phenomena can be attributed to the halo effect, a cognitive bias where positive qualities associated with attractiveness influence how a person is perceived overall. Societal and cultural influences further contribute to this dynamic, as attractive male characters have been depicted as charismatic and desirable in the past as well. This reinforces the notion that their looks can overshadow any problematic actions they may exhibit. Additionally, certain character archetypes, like the bad boy or anti-hero, often align with the attractive male characters, leading to a romanticized perception and a willingness to excuse or even admire their behavior. Further enhancing the allure of such characters, they are often depicted in positions of power and wealth within their professions. These roles typically include business tycoons, feudal lords, or individuals born into generational wealth. Their status is accentuated through various visual cues, such as their styling and wardrobe. These characters would be seen donning elegant suits, impeccably tailored white or black shalwar kameez, and fashionable and branded apparel. In the case of Murtasim, his character stands out with his extravagant collection of shawls, adding an extra touch of opulence to his wardrobe. In addition to their appearance, these characters speak really well, which enables them to command attention and influence others. They deliver powerful dialogues that captivate audiences, showcasing their intelligence, wit, and charm. Their accent and body language further enhances their overall persona, adding a layer of sophistication and charisma. Collectively, these aspects contribute to the captivating nature of these characters and play a significant role in the audience's perception and attachment to them. Character motivation. Often the troubled behavior of male characters is attributed to past trauma or neglect during their childhood. They are portrayed as broken individuals with anger issues, waiting for a righteous woman to come and fix them. In the case of Murtasim, however, no valid explanation is provided for his anger and aggression, other than the assumption that as a feudal lord, he is expected to behave in such a manner. If that argument stands, why does he undergo a complete transformation when he falls in love? Suddenly, he becomes the epitome of patience, tolerating his wife's misbehavior and blunders without question. As the drama progresses, we are finally presented with Murtasim's backstory, revealing that he never wanted to be a feudal lord in the first place. Supposedly, he gave up his dreams and passion to fulfill his dying father's last wish. He claims to understand the pain of losing what you love, as he desired to be a wildlife photographer. However, this explanation falls flat when confronted with the presence of hunting gear and stuffed animal heads proudly showcased in his living room. It seems there are more contradictions than clarity surrounding his true motivations and beliefs. This raises questions about the standards set for men, both in real life and on screen, where the bar is set so low that we find ourselves inclined to justify or at least empathize with such a man. It is crucial to note that trauma or neglect should not serve as an excuse for exhibiting bad behavior. Moreover, this brings light to the concept of male privilege within the story. While the male protagonist's past is given emphasis, the trauma experienced by the female lead Meerab remains obscured. She is kept in the dark about her own childhood and is forcefully married against her will to a man and a system she despises. When she reacts with understandable frustration to this injustice, she is portrayed as an insufferable and ungrateful girl, failing to see and appreciate the supposed pure hero's attempt to win her over.
थैंक यू कहना चाहिए तुम्हें, लेकिन तुम तो बहुत नाशुक्री हो.
Character redemption. The narrative of Tere presents Murtasim Khan as a powerful man with underlying anger issues, yet portrays him as someone with a fundamentally good heart. These contrasting traits evoke a sense of empathy from the audience towards him. Murtasim Khan's character exhibits deeply problematic traits, engaging in a range of troubling behaviors, such as physically assaulting a girl in moments of anger, intentionally throwing her into a pool, wielding a gun without hesitation against his enemies, seeking revenge by targeting an innocent girl from his enemy's village in the name of honor, and displaying possessive behavior by forcibly dragging his wife out of rooms while tightly gripping her hand. Yeah, he loves doing that, whether it makes sense or not in any scene. Despite the problematic behaviors displayed by Murtasim Khan, the narrative consistently presents him as a character capable of redemption. Each time he engages in abusive or violent actions, the story swiftly offers a seemingly redeeming act to counterbalance the negative behavior. He expresses remorse for physically harming the girl, refrains from pulling the trigger on his enemy, whether intentionally or accidentally. He also arranges a marriage to ensure justice for the village girl, overlooks his wife's foolish mistakes, defends her against his own mother, and even graciously sacrifices his own comfort by sleeping on a small couch that barely accommodates his legs. These carefully crafted moments aim to portray Murtasim as the embodiment of honor and virtue, constructing an image of an exceptionally noble man. However, it is essential to critically examine the intentions behind this portrayal. It conveniently overlooks the deep-seated issues and reinforces harmful notions of masculinity, perpetuating the dangerous myth that good deeds can erase or outweigh the simultaneous abusive behavior. It is crucial to question the integrity of such character development and the impact it has on shaping societal perceptions and expectations. Character's atmosphere. We often don't realize how the entire atmosphere is carefully constructed around a character to strategically influence our perception. Murtasim Khan serves as a prime example of this phenomenon. Every scene he appears in is meticulously planned, with careful attention given to framing, lighting, and costume choices.
Listen, I'm young and very good looking.
Murtasim is often seen wearing light-colored attire, accentuated by his exquisite shawls, while the accompanying background music sets a romantic and soothing tone to his scenes. These subtle cinematic techniques are intentionally designed to evoke empathy and draw us into the character's story and encourage us to emotionally invest in his journey. However, the manipulation of perception doesn't stop there. The supporting cast employs not-so-subtle dialogues, constantly praising the character as the epitome of honor and virtue. These overt attempts to sway the audience's opinion leave little room for doubt or critical thinking. Such storytelling techniques not only perpetuate unhealthy relationship dynamics, but also undermine the agency and autonomy of female characters, subtly implying that they should be grateful for any attention or affection regardless of the behavior accompanying it.
धमकी क्यों दूंगा तुम्हें? शौहर हूं तुम्हारा, हक है तुम पे।
Confused writing. As the story of Tere unfolded, we witnessed a change in the audience's perception of Murtasim. From the day he marries Mirab, viewers are enchanted by his charming demeanor and his unwavering respect for her boundaries. He becomes the epitome of a doting husband. Moments like his endearing question
तुम खुश हो?
further solidifies his place in the hearts of the audience. Wahaj Ali, the talented actor portraying Murtasim Khan, deserves credit for infusing these nuances into his performance. His portrayal adds depth and charisma to the character, leaving viewers enamored and fueling a fervent fandom for Murtasim Khan. Despite the actor's commendable efforts, the writing of Murtasim's character in Tere leaves us disappointed at various points in the story. The inconsistencies and confusing aspects of his development question our ability to fully understand his motives and actions, leaving the audience with a mixed sentiment of adoration and confusion. One example of this stark contradiction between Murtasim's professed love for his wife and his lack of trust in her. On one hand, he claims to love her deeply and is willing to sacrifice his own life for her. Yet, when faced with a situation that requires trust and open communication, he chooses to question her character instead.
मैंने अपना किरदार बनाओ।
Furthermore, the narrative presents Murtasim as a man who respects his wife's consent. However, when pushed to his limits, he disregards her boundaries and forces himself upon her. This sudden shift in his behavior is not only inconsistent but also raises serious concerns about the portrayal of consent and boundaries within the narrative. Despite attempts by the makers to edit scenes and manipulate the story to appease the audience after facing backlash, the so-called new narrative of Murtasim and Mirab consensually consummating their marriage after a rough and deadly fight does little to salvage the poor writing. The contrived storyline feels forced and fails to rectify the underlying issues and inconsistencies that have plagued the narrative from the beginning. Tere exemplifies the classic cycle of gaslighting the audience, where controversial content is deliberately created to generate ratings and stir social media outrage. The producers then respond by hastily editing the content in response to the backlash, leaving viewers feeling guilty for demanding changes in the first place. This pattern repeats itself with the blame conveniently shifted onto the audience, while the content makers claim they are simply delivering what the audience wants. In reality, the true responsibility lies with the content creators themselves, who prioritize monetary gains over the integrity of artistic expression. It is disheartening to witness how fans and critics invest more thought and consideration into character arcs and storylines than the very writers and makers who crafted them.
कहाँ है स्क्रिप्ट?
यहाँ है।
अच्छा।
It's important to remember that media representation plays a significant role in shaping societal norms and perceptions. While some Pakistani drama audiences may enjoy or empathize with problematic masculine characters, it is crucial to encourage a balanced portrayal of diverse and positive gender roles to promote healthier relationships and challenge harmful stereotypes. While toxic characters might be compelling in a fictional context, it is important to maintain a critical perspective and separate fantasy from reality. Let us know in the comments below, what do you think about Murtasim Khan's character and the aspects that we might have missed? We would love to read them. And while you're doing that, don't forget to like and share this video, follow us on Instagram, and subscribe to our channel, Frames and Beyond, for more interesting content.